Welcome back to Kenton and Habiba. And before we get started with the vlog, I wanted to wish everyone happy Father's Day. Happy Father's Day to all our family and friends here on YouTube. May you continue to be an inspiration to your children, helping them through the highs and lows of life. And may your heart be filled with joy, your soul with peace, and may your stomach be filled with all the delicious treats that you desire. But seriously, they say the greatest mark of a father is how he treats his children when no one is looking. I thank God for the wonderful father Kenton has always been. Okay, get closer, Korean Glid. Thanks for watching.
If you like, please comment and subscribe.
And check out our other videos. Feel free to comment down below.
Okay, back to the present vlog. So it was Friday as in Juneteenth, and the parents are out. Oh, I got this new moisturizer and it really works, or lip gloss. I don't know, it's got this magic where it gives you this lip plumping effect. I'm not one of those people that really, experiments a lot when it comes to skin products because I have sensitive skin. But this stuff really works. I felt like my lips had almost doubled. I kept putting it on. Oh yeah, Miss Shola is in the back of the car with us. I don't know, she insisted on coming. I'm like, this is a date. You're not supposed to be here, but she insisted. See, I got her a new bag from Hermes and she insisted that she needed people to see her out with the new bag. Anyway, I just hope she doesn't give me too much drama because you know how Shola is. We're about to go check out a new restaurant downtown Raleigh. I really like this area. I like the mix of the old and the new. And yeah, Raleigh has a lot of history, some good, some not so good. So as you know, Raleigh is the capital of North Carolina and we're on Main Street. As you can see, the sign straight ahead says Andrew Johnson. He was the president between 1808 and 1875, and he was born near here. It is said that he was very racist, and in fact, I think Trump said that he looked up to him. Anyway, we have made it to the parking garage. Free parking, love that. And if I didn't mention, it's also Juneteenth. So for those who don't know, what exactly is Juneteenth? Well, according to Wikipedia, Juneteenth is a blend of June and the 19th. It's a holiday commemorating the emancipation of enslaved African Americans. Now, this might be a weird segue, but Auntie Shola is out and about, as you can see here in Raleigh. And she didn't know anything about Juneteenth because, she is actually African. So we had to explain it to her. As you can see, the park is kind of quiet. We took a few pictures, waited for our reservation, and then walked across to Bida Manda. So Bida Manda is a Laotian restaurant here downtown Raleigh. I've never been here before. Kenton's never been here before, and we're excited to try a few things on the menu. It's also celiac approved or gluten-free, or at least many of their choices. And yeah, this is the Thai iced tea. It's delicious. That's sticky rice. And then this is, the salad looks different. The papaya salad looks different than I expected. And this is pad thai.
Yeah.
With peanuts and, is there chicken in that one?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we have some fried chicken, which is probably the first time I'm eating fried chicken at a restaurant. And then the sauces, boo, or what?
We got peanut habanero. That's supposed to be Laotian, sweet chili, and curry.
Okay. If you watched my short content, which I usually post first, you would have heard Shola was complaining that the salad was not cooked. And we explained to her that the salad is not supposed to be cooked. This is papaya salad. She wanted me to ask the server if they had fufu. And I was like, no, honey, this is Laotian food, okay? They don't have fufu, gari, eba, none of that here. Anyway, honestly, the meal was absolutely delicious. That pad thai was really good with the chicken. And this is definitely a space or a place we will come back to. This is really hot, like really, really hot. But this crispy chicken is really good. You wouldn't know it's gluten-free at all. Taste the ginger.
On the curry?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, really peppery, but it's a nice change. Super crispy. So here's a better picture of what we got. Again, the fried chicken, the pad thai with some peanuts and chicken, and also the papaya salad, and also, did I say sticky rice, the coconut sticky rice and all the spices. We finished it. Shows you how much we liked it. Of course, Shola was like, what about dessert? So we got the purple sticky rice with coconut cream and mango and tamarind sauce, and she was very impressed. It was interesting. So it looks like there's a caramel on there and mango.
That's the mango, right? And that's supposed to be a coconut.
What a surprise in the sauce. It's a surprise, right? The sauce, very tangy. I was not expecting that. It's like creamy, warm, but then tangy. Palate cleanser. Tell me what it is.
Well, it's cold.
What's the taste like?
It's a lime, like a lime pineapple.
Lime pineapple? Oh, okay. That's all right. It's like sweet soap. Sweet soap and juice.
Yeah.
But it can't be soap.
Do you feel cleansed?
Yeah, I guess. Do I feel cleansed? Let me drink my water. After dinner, we headed back to the car, the parking garage. Kenton and I thoroughly enjoyed that meal. Our bellies were full. Shola, on the other hand, she had a lot of complaints. She wanted to go back and eat fufu. Anyway, then we stopped to take a few pictures, take a little bit of content. This is in the garage upstairs. She fell asleep in the car on our way back. And here are some of the pictures we took earlier. By the way, I hope you had a chance to watch the previous video I posted about this IVF mix-up. I thought it was kind of interesting. We covered it from a medical point of view, the details, about IVF if you're interested. And we also went into the legal point of view with Kenton's help. So yeah, check that video out after this one. Since you're still here, a little story time. So I was listening to this lady on TikTok. This was quite interesting. Completely separate story than the whole IVF thing. This is about a married couple, okay? So let me sit back here a little bit. The sun was in my face. So this woman on TikTok told us about the fact that she used to be married. She was married for several years. They got divorced, American woman. They got divorced. It was a messy divorce. She couldn't stand him. He couldn't stand her. They basically went their separate ways. Very common. People go through divorce and it's a messy divorce. They can't stand each other. So she's living her life. He's living his life as far as she knows. And then she says one day she gets a phone call and apparently it's a hospital. And they tell her the name of the person is in the hospital, and that he has listed her as his next of kin. And she basically is like, it doesn't mean anything to her. But the point is that they tell her that she needs to come in to sign some paperwork so he can get discharged, that he is not going to get discharged unless, as his next of kin, she comes and sign the paperwork. So they don't give her too many details. They're kind of vague about it. And she, again, has had a messy divorce with this man. As far as she's concerned, she no longer has a relationship with him. So she tells them no. She's like, I'm not coming. I'm not coming to sign any paperwork. I'm not interested. He's alive? Okay, fine. But I am not interested in anything about this man. She hangs up. They call back again. They're like, ma'am, you don't understand. This man needs to get discharged. He's been through a lot here, but we need to send him home somewhere. And you are listed as next of kin and nobody else is coming to pick him up. So you need to come. So she kind of explains that they are divorced, but whoever was on the phone was not listening to her. They're just like, you need to show up. She thinks about it and then she's like, you know what? Maybe I'll go sign the paperwork. I don't want to have to see him. I'm not going to see him. I don't know what's going on. I'll just go to the hospital. I'll sign the paperwork and leave. She goes to the hospital. She signs the paperwork, and apparently someone in the hospital, or I don't know if it was a nurse or who, was like, would you like to see the patient? He heard that you're here and he would like to see you. So she's just like, you know how they catch you off guard. So she's like, sure, I'll just go in and say hi and leave. So she goes to his room. The nurse escorts her. She goes to his room and she sees him laying there. He's got a lot of scratches on him. You could tell that he was in an accident. Apparently, midlife crisis. He got a motorcycle and he was in an accident. However, he appears to be doing well right now. He's ready to go home. So he looks at her and he's really nice. And he's like, thank you for coming. I really appreciate you coming to pick me up. And she's shocked. She's taken aback because she has never seen him be so cordial before. She says basically they have always been, at least towards the end of their marriage, were very nasty and combative with each other. And she's never seen him act this nice, and just something was different. So she's just sort of standing there shocked. And again, he's just like, I'm so happy you came. I can't wait to go home, to go back to my bed, to go to sleep, to get some rest. You can't rest in the hospital. These people have been nice to me, but again, I'm so happy that you took the time out of your day to come pick me up so we can go home. So she's looking at him and she's like, what is this man talking about? We don't have a relationship. We haven't been together in the same house for years. So they explained to her that her husband has significant amnesia and that he can't remember the last 5 years of his life. So it dawns on her that he thinks they are still happily married. Like the whole conversation, she could tell, was off, and that he had no understanding that they had a messy and ugly divorce, and he thinks that they are still happily married. So imagine, are you taking him home? He thinks he's going home to sleep in his marital bed. He thinks this is his loving wife. He is happy she is here. He is ready to go home. Meanwhile, from her point of view, she's looking at her ex-husband, who she can't stand, who she doesn't like, doesn't want to be around. And he's clearly has no clue because he's suffering from amnesia. She asked the nurse how long this is going to last. And they said, oh, it's probably not permanent, that his brain just has to heal. The brain is such an amazing machine, such an amazing, intricate part of our body. And anyway, I'm just wondering, what would you do? I decided to ask Kenton his opinion on the case. All right, Kenton, so you heard the story. You bumped your head. You can't remember anything. If this were us, would you expect me to come to the hospital to pick you up? And if I pick you up, am I bringing you home? And am I putting you in our bed because that's what you expect? Or is it okay if I put you in the guest bedroom?
First of all, this is a silly loaded question.
Why is it silly?
What I expect.
Okay.
okay, I have brain damage.
Right.
You're asking me to make expectations based upon an inaccurate or incomplete.
Yes, you have brain damage.
The issue is you. I'm not going to my place. My place doesn't exist anymore. So that means that you have to make the decision. The question really is to you. It's not to me.
All right.
Okay?
Well, how do you feel if I say...
Flip it on the other way. If you had brain damage and you...
Why? Why would you put it like that?
Because that's really what it is. If you had brain damage and you wanted to come back to me, we had a divorce. So then the expectation is that, is it okay for me to take you back? Again...
All right, let me ask you. All right, what would you do? What would you do if I had brain damage? You would have hated me. We went through a horrible divorce.
Yes.
We do not like each other, and now I'm acting like we're still happily married.
That's nothing changed. So that's. I'm still with you.
Boo.
See.
Why you can't answer the question?
The thing is, this is the thing. This is what I think would happen. I would take you back, all right, knowing myself. You would go back to your nicer self because you would forget all that other stuff, and we could start fresh. And I would think if I open myself up, I would start having feelings again back to before all the nastiness happens. Because that's sometimes what happens. It's like you forget, what created the love, and you add on all this basically like dirt.
All right, well, what if part of the reason you hated me or we went through divorces, let's say I cheated on you. You think you can forget that just because I'm nice?
If I had brain damage, you're talking about you.
Yeah, I've had brain damage after being a horrible person to you, and God forbid.
But again, if the person you are is before the cheating, meaning that you don't even have any memory of the cheating.
Right. I don't have memory of the cheating. I don't have memory of anything bad I did to you.
So now I have more of a knowledge of the cheating. I would watch you closer, even when you're nice. What this also brings about is a complication relationship, especially long relationships, is that we're imperfect. So the thing is that over time, you're going to say things that you regret. You do things that may have been inconsiderate. Cheating definitely is a red line. So the question is that individually, it's not one size fits all. You have to sit there and say, like, is this a person that I can trust, love again, and rebuild, or move on, or do I just help this person as they rehabilitate? Start showing them, hey, we're no longer together. You had an accident. You know what I'm saying? Because
what if you're already in a new relationship?
Well, yeah, no, that's
right. What if you're in another relationship? Yeah. You can't take me back if you're already in another relationship.
That's right.
Right? Because I don't know what crazy woman took you.
There you go. Get out.
Anyway, y'all, he's making me some fried bread here.
You gluten-free
fried bread.
To go with the...
Even though it's fried, but there's no oil in here.
It is oil.
There's oil?
Light, very light.
Oh, okay.
So it's not overly...
Let me taste it.
Yeah.
Please. So I could eat this with like stew.
Yeah, right. Exactly. That's good.
Let me taste it and tell ya. Yeah, tastes like Indian flatbread or something. You know what would be good on it? Some like garlic butter, right? That would make it taste like naan.
Yeah, your garlic butter.
Yeah, I'll do that.